Uni Turentini. Welcome.
I'm here to talk about something that's costing the US economy more than $400 billion every single year in lost productivity. Something that's a public crisis on the scale of the opioid epidemic and affects the workplace in every business globally. And it's something that I've struggled with. I remember this one time. This is years ago when I'm a lawyer at a bank in Geneva. It's a gray Monday morning, and I get to the office, and my colleague sitting at the desk right next to mine doesn't even say hello. We're supposed to be working together, but she treats me like I'm the enemy. So I treat her the same back. She's hostile, I'm hostile. She holds back information, I hold back information. And I can't even talk to anyone about this because, well, who's going to take me seriously? And I feel so alone. Have any of you ever felt alone in a room full of people? Maybe with your colleagues? Yeah, I see some of you, yes. I'm here to talk about loneliness, and I will show you how we can fix this societal problem. And this is the moment to address loneliness, because people are leaving their jobs, and it's never been harder to keep talent. And part of the problem is that we don't feel connected at work. In fact, statistically, 1 in every 5 of you in this room is dealing with loneliness right now. And if you're watching this live stream and you live in the United States, the stats are even higher. 3 out of 5 American adults are affected. And loneliness has consequences. First of all, to our health. Did you know that the health implications are comparable to obesity and heavy smoking? Yeah. Loneliness can make you physically ill. In addition, loneliness makes you depressed. And sometimes the pain is so unbearable that you feel that you have no other option but to shoot and kill 19 children and 2 teachers at a school in Texas. According to the World Health Organization, depression is the #1 cause of disability in the world. So it's not a surprise that there is also a financial cost. Sick leave is costing Norwegian employers 2.6 billion euros every year. So we know that loneliness affects our society, our businesses, and our workplaces. But the workplace is also where we can solve this societal problem. We spend most of our waking hours at work. What we need to figure out is how to improve those workplace connections. And through my work and research, I've found that there are 3 elements that we all need to feel connected. And I call them the 3 C's: confidence, contribution, and connection. Confidence is the first C. Now, there are 2 sides to confidence. There's the confidence that you have in yourself, and then there's the confidence you have in other people. Self-confidence is about self-worth. And self-worth is relevant because when someone says they're lonely, what they're really saying is, I don't believe I'm worthy of love and connection. You see, connection is an inside job at first. In order to have fulfilling connection with other people, we must first connect with ourselves. And you connect with yourself when you are grounded. And companies can facilitate grounding exercises, including yoga, meditation, or breath work. And grounding is important, especially right now. I mean, I don't know about you, but I find it really difficult to stay grounded these days. Yeah? I mean, we are bombarded with information, with news, fake news. It's constant and never ending. Add to that a general feeling of unworthiness, of not being enough, which is the reality of so many people today across cultures. Raise your hand if any of this resonates. Yeah, thank you. So let's take a breath together right now. And I invite you to place one hand on your heart, and you may close your eyes. And take a deep breath in. Fill your belly, your chest, your whole body with oxygen. And exhale, let it all go. Feel yourself arriving in your body. Yeah. Take another deep inhale and ask yourself, how can I love myself a little more today? Yeah. And just notice what comes up. Yeah. And before you come back to this space, just thank yourself for showing up for yourself in this way, for giving yourself this gift. And you may open your eyes. Having a daily grounding practice infused with a little self-love is about taking responsibility for your life. It's about taking back your power, and that inspires trust, which is confidence in other people. But when trust or confidence is low, not only do we fuel loneliness, we create polarity, extremism, unrest, civil unrest, and violence. When trust is low, that's also when we disengage and we resign from our jobs. So how do we restore trust? Well, it turns out that the single most important thing you can do to restore trust is to be responsible. And that's a lot easier in theory than it is in real life because we live in a culture of victimhood and blame. So right now, take a quick inventory of your life. Maybe there's a situation or a person that you are frustrated with, that you blame for something that happened. And if there is, how can you take responsibility for part of that, even just a little bit? Yeah. Also, part of being responsible is living with integrity. So when you make a mistake, and we all do, admit it, apologize, and do your best to repair. The second C is contribution. And contribution is one of our basic human needs because giving of ourselves makes us feel valued. Now, there are many ways to contribute, but I'm going to give you one way that you can implement into any organization. Keep a skills and talents bank. We all have skills and talents that go beyond our job description. I started my career in finance as a lawyer, but I'm actually better with people than I am with paperwork. So when there was an opening in marketing and investor relations, I applied and I got the job. And it turned out to be a win-win for the bank and for me. Now, I'm not suggesting that you all change jobs, okay? But if you're a team leader, have your team write down their qualities, their skills, their talents, and make this bank available to everyone at the company. And encourage people to use it, to ask for help, and to collaborate across teams. Because when you do, your people, your employees will feel more integrated and useful. And you, as a company, get the most value out of the existing resources. So we've covered confidence and contribution. The third C is connection. And connection is all about relationships, which are the foundation for communication and conflict resolution. And yet, relationships are often not prioritized, despite the fact that having positive personal relationships is one of the most valued aspects of our jobs. In fact, a study published by MIT found that a toxic workplace is the #1 factor making people quit. Now, one of the reasons we don't prioritize relationships is that we believe relationships are hard work, and we just don't have the time that it takes to become close friends with everyone at the office. I get that. But here's the beauty of relationships. We don't need to be close to reap the benefits. Back when I was still working in finance, my boss sent me to this big conference in Moscow. I didn't know anyone there, and the only other woman I saw was Madeleine Albright. Yeah, she was the keynote speaker. And I felt about this big. Then one morning, I'm in the elevator going down to the hotel lobby when this man enters. And he looks at me and he says, "Hey, Uni, how are you doing today?" I mean, I met this man briefly at one of the events earlier in the week. But he remembered me, and he knew my name. And that did something to me. His recognition gave me such a boost of confidence. The rest of the conference, I was on fire. I made so many new connections, and some of these connections later invested in our fund. So let's examine what happened here. That encounter generated something called relational energy. And relational energy is powerful because it sparks a chain of reactions. The first reaction is emotional. It makes us feel good. The second is cognitive, which means it gives us clarity, more focus, and increases our concentration. And that makes us more productive. And all it takes is learning and using the names of the people you meet and also learning a little more about your coworkers. So at your next weekly team meeting, have one person share a little bit about themselves and do this every single week. Connection really is a superpower. It is also the future of leadership and how you as a leader are going to win the talent war, engage your employees, improve employee health, and battle the loneliness epidemic. So are you ready? Raise your hand if you can commit to making connection a priority in your own personal life. Yes or yes? And you can do that starting right here at the Nordic Business Forum. Isn't that a beautiful thing? Also, make connection a priority at your company. Transform your company into a community where no one feels alone while surrounded by their colleagues ever again. And you do that by increasing confidence, facilitating contribution, and nurturing connection. I'm Uni Turtini, and I believe in you.